Welcome everybody to another installment of Opinions Are Stupid. I'm here with Jason, my Medina, my usual dude, and we have a special guest this week, Steve Bunche, who, if you know, has his own little thing called the Vault of Bunchness. Which, Steve, I don't know if it's still around. You've been doing that for years, but it's been
still around.
What?
It's
been doing it for a while. It's still around. Awesome. Steve, if you tell before the end of the show, you should tell us what your address is so people can go check it out. And you do like little comic reviews of movies and stuff, and they're fucking fantastic, and other stuff. Comics. When I say comics, I mean comic books, like little cartoons. You know what I mean? What's the other thing? Strips. We call them strips. Not to diss you, Steve. It's not about trying to lower the art form. It's just trying to convey the information to the folks at home.
Right.
So,
Generation X.
Thank you for joining us.
It's for the millennials, Steve. It's for the millennials. The
millennials.
span is very short.
What are they? They don't know shit. Unfortunately. The other great thing about Steve is that he has a encyclopedic knowledge of B movies and C movies, and which is always fun to watch him on Facebook. You know, wax on and wax off about those movies and how much he enjoys them, and as also.
If I may make a quick plug.
Go ahead, shoot the plug.
Yeah. Speaking of the movie stuff, I also curate a blog of nothing but movie stuff. So we'll get to the URL on that later.
Oh, fantastic!
Nice. He does it all. He does it all, is what I'm hearing.
You bring quality guests to Opinions Are Stupid. And if you ever doubted that, with the fact that we had Justin Gray on, and also Steve, and maybe we'll even get, I don't know, some annoying political figure, maybe. Thank you for turning on your lights, Steve. You can see what you look like. So, Jason, I mean, you and I had this thing back and forth about that guy who does things on the internet. What's his name? Rogan? Is it
Joe
Rogan? Joe Rogan, that asshole. So supposedly he's saying that vaccinations now are causing the variants. Did you see that?
I did not see that, but I will say, who the fuck is he to say anything? Because he's not a medical professional.
Well, he does do all kinds of mind-bending, altering drugs. And therefore, that means he has an idea.
So do I, but that doesn't make me a professional either.
Exactly.
Don't you know that LSD makes you understand that how viruses work? Yeah, he said some bullshit about that.
It's about edible.
You ingest, you lie down.
Look.
When it kicks in, it's a problem.
I was trying to tell you before. He changes his opinion mid sentence sometimes, so it's hard to understand what he's saying and when he's saying it. You know, he kind of jumps to whoever he's talking to and tries to jump on their bandwagon, and it's just what he does. You can't take him seriously in that sense. But just crazy because he gets so many high profile guests that you kind of want to like enjoy the forum, but then he says stuff like that, and you're just like, where are you going with this? That's the crazy part about it.
Yeah.
When I watch his podcast, I ignore him. I listen to his guests. I mean, anytime Bill Burr is on, forget it. I'm there.
Right. It's hilarious. Right.
Bill Burr just took a shit on DeSantis on Monday morning.
He did. He went after him.
Yeah, his Monday morning podcasts are pretty amazing. If you don't know who Bill Burr is, he hosted Saturday Night Live last year, and everybody got mad at him. I don't know why, but they did. Because I guess he was being Bill Burr, and that's what happens. But his point. I mean, he's married to a black lady. The guy's been doing comedy for 30 years. Give him a fucking break, Jesus Christ.
For those familiar with Bill Burr, that's all you need to know. He uses comedy. Comedy as a word.
The unfortunate thing, Steve, is
an audience of
you are laughing.
So on stage, doesn't even bother with an act, and then just.
Steve, you froze. Are you seeing this too, Jason?
Yeah. It just happened. Yeah.
Oh no, Steve, you froze for us for a minute, and we just didn't understand. We didn't hear anything you said, unfortunately, which is really sad because it sounded like it was cool.
Oh well. What can I do? Anything?
There's a couple things you can do, but we're not going to troubleshoot that now. Let's hope that the connection gets a little better and we can walk through this. Anyway, you were making a point about how Bill Burr is cool, and he doesn't really give a fuck about what people think, I think. Is that correct?
Well, basically, for the people who have no idea who Bill Burr is, go on YouTube and look up the Philly rant.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Are you familiar?
The Philly rant
yes.
is awesome.
Okay. All I have to say, that was my first exposure to him, and I've been a fan ever since. And don't get me started on when he does podcasts with his wife.
Yes.
She is hilarious. Californian black chick, and he's a Boston.
He's from Boston.
Right.
Irish German.
Total opposites. Yeah, it should be total opposites at the end.
Together again. And by the way, the Philly rant is fantastic. When that happened was, oh man, I want to say 20 years ago now, where the Opie and Anthony show had him on, and they went to Philadelphia, and they had the Philadelphia baseball field, or I don't know, some one of the bowls down there, and Bill Burr came on following someone who completely got destroyed, and he just stayed up for 10 minutes making fun of the crowd, and he wouldn't leave them alone. And it's I can't even describe how awesome it is. You have to. I watch it. I listen to it at least once a year because it's so fucking awesome. It's choice comedy. Fantastic.
The term ultra profane exists for a reason.
So he took a shit on DeSantis on Monday, basically saying that shitty politicians shouldn't be doctors. And I think that's the kind of thing. A friend of mine brought something up about, it's COVID time. Where's my thing? I gotta have my thing under here. My COVID thing.
The COVID meter.
My COVID blurb. What's that called? What do you call it, TV guy? The what? What is it? The thing underneath?
The crawl?
Right.
You want the COVID crawl?
Chiron, the crawl. One of those. Anyway, I mean, I could add it. I'd rather complain. Where's my producer? Anyway, DeSantis, one of my friends made a point about how one of the reasons why people do not seem to be as concerned about COVID is because it doesn't seem to affect children the same way it affects older people. So there isn't that explicit connection between an illness and your kids. You can get sick. No one gives a fuck if you get sick. No one gives a fuck if you go to the Badlands, Sturgis, and come home and give everyone in your motorcycle club COVID. But if your kid dies from it, it's a very different situation. And that's something that's very specific to our society because we're idiots. So, that was a very interesting point of view. And I kind of think that's the reason why they're getting away with it. With the, don't harsh my mellow or don't Fauci me or whatever the fuck it is that they're saying in Florida. By the way, today they asked for more ventilators from the federal government.
Yeah, I was literally going to tell you that. Right. So while they're crapping on it, but yet they're still worried enough where they're asking for government help to come in and stop a problem that supposedly isn't a problem.
When your emergency rooms shut down because they can't take anybody anymore, that's a problem. That's kind of one of the things we've been talking about being an issue. I mean, they should.
Not only do we have that going on, we also have just look at this country. We are, for better or worse, a willfully ignorant society. Okay,
True.
We're talking about science that is of, at hardest, junior high school level, and I say this as the son of a biology teacher. Okay,
right.
I grew up understanding this shit from the time I was a kid. Okay, why are adults willfully denying this and like just causing their loved ones to die off? Fuck you! It's fucking stupid.
It's crazy.
Sorry, just nah.
You know,
it's
okay.
It's easy to get frustrated. It's easy to get frustrated because it's like we have information out there that people just don't either want to look at or don't want to accept. So it just becomes like, what are we doing to our fellow man? If you want to do to yourself, it's one thing, but this is something that's affecting other people, and we're just not having that discussion of how to do this the right way. We just have these infights, which is crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's because they're following the political lead of Trump, and you know, Texas, and who's also asking for help, by the way. Texas is also asking for people to come and help them because they're running out of people to work their emergency rooms. Is, you know, let's not wear masks. Everything's fine. Look at Trump. He pulled off his mask. He was fine. He got it. Trump was on the verge of death when he did that, which I thought was pretty amazing.
Right.
It's just ridiculous, and it's sad. And you know, we can talk about COVID all, you know, for the rest of the day, considering what's been happening and how the virus is ravaging the South. Or we could talk about Governor Cuomo.
Who knew?
Who knew? Hell, he did. I'm not a pervert. I'm Italian.
Do you remember? Do you remember back in the? Do you remember back in the days when he was running against Ed Koch, and the campaigns with the slogan that Native New Yorkers were using against Koch, vote for Cuomo and not the homo.
Right.
You can't make this shit up.
I think was that Andrew or was that his dad?
That was his dad.
Yeah, that was his dad, who also kisses people, from what I understand, and hugs them. But maybe doesn't slap a woman's breasts around and say stuff like, you know, I'll catch you later, or put his hand up someone's skirt to grab her breast. By the way, awesome move. If you can do that and get away with it, you're the man. But he didn't, so he's not. I do not condone any of this, folks. No. Right. Unless you have a consensual partner, I do not condone any of this. It's just really fucked up that this guy just comes off as you know, what were we calling him last year? You know, Daddy Cuomo or some shit.
Right. He was becoming like America's governor at one point. Remember that, when he was all over the face of COVID at one point.
Yeah, the face of COVID, who was making fun of Trump, and now, you know, similar to Trump, right. He touches people inappropriately. I'm glad, you know, the sad thing is the guy was actually pretty effective, even though he was a son of a bitch when it came to politics. New York politics is rough and tumble, and he was able to, you know, deal with it for, you know, his 2 terms. And now, similar to what happened last time, New York City is getting a female governor. First female governor takes over after, you know, another Democrat, you know, gets crushed by his own stupidity.
So what's the process? No, she's the governor, and go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask so the process. She's the governor into the next race, basically.
Well, she's the governor.
And if she wants to run, she would have to run like a regular thing, yeah. Right? Gotcha.
I mean, or I don't know what the political machine does. You know, the Dem machine still exists. I don't know what's going to happen, but there'll be a primary, and she could certainly run for the primary. And then if she wants to, therefore, then run for governor. I mean, it'll be. I don't think the Republicans have a whole lot of traction right now in New York.
Right now, there's not many Republicans out there, besides Curtis Lewa, I guess, that have, you know, any kind of which is crazy. He's a guardian angel, folks. Come on.
That's why I stopped watching the Channel 5 news in the mornings, because whenever he'd show up, I was like, I'm out.
Right. Yeah, but you had Rosanna Scotto. Didn't you have Rosanna Scotto in the morning? Who's in the morning on that? Rosanna Scotto, another conservative Italian. Jesus.
Yeah, well, we know about her, right?
Oh, do tell. Spill that tea, dude.
Isn't she? Wasn't she mobbed up And like when she was off on opposite, who was it? Greg Kelly was that the other
Greg
guy?
Kelly. Yes,
And
Greg Kelly.
Wasn't he like the son of a major, like high-ranking cop? So you have a great dichotomy there.
Right.
She's mobbed up. Rosanna Scotto has family in.
Yeah.
Let's just cover ourselves. Allegedly mobbed up.
Allegedly. Hey, I don't know anything about that. I just come here to eat. Please.
And now Greg Kelly's like in Newsmax or whatever, like going full Trump on his end.
Didn't somebody from Newsmax die recently, or some reporter?
He was like a big time anti-vaxxer guy, and like on his deathbed, he was telling everybody this is real, like everybody should get vaxxed up, and it's like, I mean, it seems like that's the case. Everybody seems to be they seem to be knocking it, but the minute they're in the bed, they want the shot. It doesn't work that way.
That's not how it works. 1, 2. He's not the only person that died. There was a Texas politician, a Texas state guy that died as well this weekend from COVID. And you know what? Good. I mean, there's only so much you can do. There isn't. There's like here's something for you that'll save you from this horrible thing that's happening. Oh, you don't want it? Maybe you should wear a mask. Oh, you don't want to wear a mask either? Okay.
Right, there's not many recourse at that point.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're dying now, huh? Well, good luck. I mean, what the fuck?
Man.
We never thought we would get to this point. We never. Did you ever think 10 years ago that we would be at this point? Would be so divided in something this capacity? It's crazy.
We're talking about the Obama years, 10 years ago.
Even before, like, let's say before Obama. Let's say. I mean.
Well, I mean, they went after him for wearing a tan suit. The anniversary of his tan suit was. Yeah, how dare that Negro wear a tan suit? How dare that Negro bow to people? What the hell? But yeah, I mean, they went after him for wearing a tan suit. I think that there was a whole thing about Newt Gingrich and how Newt Gingrich was the beginning of this.
He was.
And how
he was.
Yeah, Newt Gingrich, when he was Speaker of the House, he took over from Tip O'Neill, and how his actual point of view was to be as combative as possible constantly against the Democrats and to talk shit. And when Clinton took over, was elected, he couldn't move the needle with Newt, because Newt was always kind of like, first of all, he's crazy. 1, 2, Newt Gingrich writes these historical novels, like they're history, but they're made up stories. They're not real. They're like, the Civil War was about states' rights. I guess it's okay to be white from Georgia to say that. I don't know. But we all know that it was about slavery, and if anybody can say that differently, they're full of shit. It wasn't about state rights. And you know what? Who died mostly during the Civil War? Poor whites. So I guess it works. The Trumpism and all that shit is the same thing as it was 100 years ago when we had the Civil War or whatever, and people are fucking dumb, and you can't save stupid. So, all right.
I don't know about you two, but it has been my firm opinion since roughly 1972 that America is hopelessly stupid. Okay, in every possible respect. I have no hope or faith for anything having to do with this country, be it black, white, Asian, you name it. We're all fucking idiots. And until you can wake up each morning and meet people who prove you wrong, you're going to be surrounded by nothing but morons. That's it.
It's tough to get
a new outlook, but it is what it is.
No, I think for the most part, Steve, I was trying to be nice, but I think you hit the nail on the head, so to speak. And
why be nice? You're not being nice to us.
No, there's a lot of truth to that. There's a lot of truth. We've gone in a definite spiral in the last 20, 30 years.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I think the other thing that's happening that's very interesting was, I know we had, remember, last week, I want to talk more about politics, but I'm going to back up a little bit, because there's something that happened this weekend that was kind of spectacular. And I don't know if you saw it, Jason.
What was this?
The Suicide Squad movie.
No,
James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Well, we're gonna fucking spoil it for you, so get ready.
You know my theory. I don't care about.
I know.
I'm gonna watch it regardless. It doesn't matter.
Can't watch it in front of
the awake, because then I know what to look for, and be like, oh, that's what it's talking about, right? So
that
go ahead.
scene that killed Superman. Fucking A, man. Wow, that was a bold choice.
Take that, mustache Superman. The best thing about this movie, and I mean, there's a lot of really good things about it, but the best thing about this movie is that.
So you enjoyed it? You liked it then?
Oh, it was great! Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay. Better than the first one?
I mean, it wasn't as good as Big Trouble in Little China, but
come on, that's a classic. That's a classic. That's an American classic.
What was that, Steve?
Jump's better than the first one.
Yes. And it had some connection to the first. What I think is really interesting is this: James Gunn leaves himself an out to use some of these characters by saying, "Oh, you character X and Rick Flag worked really well together in that last thing you did," which I think was like great. We can have another Rick Flag a movie with this character who was really awesome. What's the name of the Idris Elba was in it as Bloodsport, and that was the name of his character. Created for the John Byrne Superman comics, a black guy that shot up Superman with a gun, and used kryptonite bullets, which pretty fucking badass if you ask me. But what was great about this is Idris Elba, he can do no wrong. Like, it doesn't matter what he's in, he's fucking awesome. I haven't even watched Luther, so I can't know. But anyway, he gets coerced by the leader of the Suicide Squad because she was going to put his kid in prison to go and fight on this island to destroy this specific thing. And as the movie starts, we find out there are two teams. I mean, they're not giving anything away. They're both.
Please don't hesitate on my part. Give it away.
And just some really great hijinks happens, and it's a lot of fun. Maybe 20 minutes too long, but you can't really complain. And two really great animated things. Well, three actually. Three really great animated things in the movie. The King Shark, which has been kind of like this cornerstone. He's amazing. Stallone plays him, and he's really dumb, but he's really funny. Reading a book upside down when we first meet him, and he's great. And then you also get Weasel. Was I think from the original Suicide Squad, right? That was from the original.
Honestly, I'd never heard of that.
You never seen Weasel before?
In the movie anyway, so
yes. And of course, the big thing that everyone was waiting for, Starro. Which, by the way, holy shit!
Speaking as an Ultraman fan, I was dying when Starro showed up and just went on his rampage, hysterical, and he looked like a big, foam rubber monster. Just ridiculous.
Completely. He was a bouncy former. And did you notice that he every time when he stepped around, he did the walking step, but he also did the turn. Like, he actually moved spun at one or twice, and it was like, that's fucking cool. Because it doesn't matter. He's 5-pointed and has a big eye in the middle, so it doesn't matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just a big wheel.
Yep.
It was fantastic. They did a couple of things that I didn't agree with. As far as this version of Starro, but who the fuck am I? I didn't write the movie. Definitely a lot of fun. Your kids can't watch it, dude.
Oh, come on. You know they're gonna watch somehow.
My kid's good. I would say my nieces, when I babysit them, the shit they've been exposed to, and consequently, they are a hard breed.
Children.
This generation grows up quick.
What you should have seen when I was babysitting my niece Aurora and her little friends who live next door. I'd show them Bruce Lee movies, and they'd run around the house, they shit of each other. It was wonderful.
I could imagine their parents start asking, what did you do for the last 3 hours? Watch Bruce Lee kick somebody's ass.
No, that's why I was there. No, I was there babysitting every week for 10 years.
Right.
So what does that tell you?
Right.
Bruce Lee movies, giant monster movies,
Anime.
You can't go wrong.
No.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with Monster Zero, man. You can't. X from Outer Space. Anything by Gamera, because he is the friend of all children, as you know.
Right. Kids love him.
Speaking of X from Outer Space, did you see the recent one with him? We did a quasi sequel to the X from Outer Space a few years ago, and it was a comedy.
No, I didn't see this. Did you see this? No, I gotta see this.
Wait, let me get the exact title. Hang on a second.
You don't understand how much I love that fucking movie.
Yeah, I know. That's why I can see your eyes just gleaming right now.
Oh.
Okay.
So just guys, I'm getting the running out of time 40-minute thing, which means
10-minute warning.
Yeah, 10-minute warning. Which means that I may have to stop this thing in 40 minutes, and then we'll have to restart. It's okay. We'll just take a break. But you're saying there's an X from Outer Space sequel.
Who's the leader in this Suicide Squad?
I'm looking it up now. Hang on.
Well, he does that. Who's the leader in this Suicide Squad movie? Is it Albus?
Leader Bloodsport. There are two teams, but Rick Flag and Bloodsport, and then there's
so the Will Smith character is no longer there anymore.
No, he didn't want to do the movie.
Yeah, he's busy working out. Big scam that one is, by the way.
Hey, the movie's called Monster X Strikes Attack the G8 Summit. I'll send you the link to it later.
That's a long title.
Monster X Strikes
translated from Japanese.
Right.
Oh God.
Monster.
The G8 Summit.
Monster X Strikes Back. Attack the G8 Summit from 2008.
Oh my God. That's it. Holy fucking shit. Oh my God. There it is.
I don't believe you didn't know about this.
No. It's great though.
So happy.
And it's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. You know that guy, Beat Takeshi? Beat Takeshi? Okay, he's in the movie. He turns into some kind of like ancient Japanese idol to fight that monster.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now.
Where the monster literally takes a missile and shoves it up his ass.
Well, anything I'm there for anything by Beat Takeshi. I remember you guys have seen Old Boy, right? Old Boy, the Korean movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was or I might have remembered, or I don't know that it's part of a trilogy. Like it's not an unconnected trilogy. Symphony for Mr. Vengeance, Old Boy, and Mrs. Vengeance, and these are all done by the same director, and they're all kind of bloody vengeance movies. Well, I fucking didn't know that, and now I found out that two of them are on Hulu, and I'm gonna see them because I haven't seen it. I've seen Old Boy more than once, but I've never seen the other two movies. So
I'm the only guy in the world who did not like Old Boy because it was recommended to me by guys in England, and they're like, "Oh, you got to see this," and I'm like, I watch this kind of shit all the time. This is nothing new to me, so I wasn't impressed.
But did you see the other movies? The other two movies?
I didn't care.
Yeah, he didn't care. He didn't like, oh, boys, I'm going to watch the other two. Why would he do that?
I don't know. But I don't know. I think that director
I watched Suicide Squad.
What?
And I hated the first one.
What do you recommend, Steve? You got something you can recommend to us that's violent and awful?
Well, where do I start? I mean, you know me.
Well, there's always Ricky O.
Well, Ricky O is that's one of the most accurate comics adaptations ever made.
True, that is true.
I first encountered that as an untranslated manga, and then I saw the movie. I was like, "This is the same goddamn thing." It's great.
You don't know what it's called. Ricky. It's called the story. Yeah, Story Ricky. In here in the United States. And if you haven't seen it, it's classic gory Japanese garbage. And I love gory Japanese garbage. Actually, Steve, go ahead.
Have you seen The Machine Girl?
No, but it's on. I have it, and it's on my list.
Oh.
So is Meatball Machine. So is Meatball Machine, and what's the other fucking one? Tokyo Gore Police, which I've only seen parts of. He's against.
No, it's nothing but cheap. The effects are okay, but it has no story. The one you want to see. Did you see High Kick Girl?
No, High Kick Girl.
High Kick Girl.
High Kick Girl, starring Rina Takeshi. She's this unbelievable real life karate fighter, and she was like, I think, 17 when they shot it. Badass. But
girl.
That movie's great. But she made another one called Dead Sushi about zombie sushi, and it is hilarious.
I'm actually there's an anime. There's a couple of anime movies that are based on what's the name of that guy? That manga horror guy. He did Spiral.
Oh, that dude was the really fucked up guy.
Yeah.
One of the special effects in Dead Sushi. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
He did use it. Right?
Yeah. He's got a squid coming out of his head. It's
that
great.
movie's a riot, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Juni Ito.
So how does the sushi become zombies?
I'm not going to tell you. You got to see the movie.
It's that in depth.
Completely worth your time.
I gotta check it out because this looks crazy. She's fighting a sushi at the end of it, and she's fighting a fish with a hatchet. It looks like. Am I wrong about this?
Should we play the trailer? Yeah, the trailer, Jake. Can you share it with us?
No, I just thought I don't have the trailer. I just saw pictures pop up, and the pictures are mesmerizing. I mean, they really are.
We'll also make note of High Kick Girl, because like the opening sequence of that will blow your mind.
Yeah, there's a Ito movie, Ito manga called Gaio, which is about fish that attack Tokyo after being made into some kind of crazy machines.
The Japanese.
You gotta love the Japanese, man.
You gotta love them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right back.
He's probably getting. He's got some props that he's bringing in.
I got this. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see.
It's blurred out.
No, it's blurred.
What? Okay.
You're holding a tesseract.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there you go. Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Isn't that cool? It's about 4 inches high. But when I finally take it out of the packaging and build it, it's going to be awesome. For those who don't know what that is, Bandai, the Japanese toy maker and model maker, made a Raiden snap model. You just snap it together. And it's, I mean, I grew up with Raiden. Raiden was my first anime. I think I've talked about this besides Speed Racer. And Raiden is the first anime that I saw in Japanese with subtitles. And you weren't even born yet, Jason.
No.
And the best thing about it is Bandai this show was really popular in Japan, and Bandai made tons of fucking toys for Raiden, and they were die-cast metal, and they were awesome, and they're impossible to find anymore around here because no one makes them anymore. But every once in a while, if you go to a good used toy place, you can see one or two of them. I think Toy Tokyo might have a couple of them. But then Raiden was used in Shogun Warriors as one of the robots that they had, and also they introduced Godzilla in Shogun Warriors. But robots on wheels, and they were all molded plastic and shitty. But you had Raiden, Mazinga, and Dan was it?
Dragoon.
Dragoon.
Mazinga, Dragoon, Raiden. And they also did a bunch of them in die-cast metal too, that kind of suck.
Yeah, but they weren't cool, man. The Bandai stuff from the 70s was fucking awesome, and they had like stuff came out of his chest. You could transform them into like the actual god bird, which is Raiden's like thing. He turned into a giant bird and like a fiery phoenix type of situation. It was pretty cool. He had a big ass sword and he had a bow.
Toy Tokyo is pretty cool. I just googled it.
You should go to Toy Tokyo, man. Wear a mask.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
I love going in there because they've got all the oldies. Like they've got the Corgi toys, like the Green Hornet's car. Someday.
And jumped in. So you were talking about
Toy Tokyo.
Yeah, well, that place they had at one point. I went in there and wanted to cry because I couldn't afford anything, but they had 2 like of those soft plastic toys. They were each about this tall. And it was the set of the original twins from Mothra.
Wow!
Oh man, I would have killed for those.
Holy shit!
Wait, while we're at it, hang on a second. While we're showing off shit.
Oh boy, here he comes.
He's getting the real stuff out. You started that.
I love it. I look at his background, man. He has like the freaking Avengers back there, the British Avengers, and some comic book art.
The real Avengers.
The real Avengers.
So you're saying I can't take my kid to Toy Tokyo because it's...
You can. You're just out of earshot. Yeah, you can. You can certainly take your kids to it.
How big is this place? Is it big?
It's not. It's 2 floors though. It has a basement that's full of pop toys.
Oh, nice.
You won't get out of there alive. You'll end up buying them fucking something.
I was at the Harry Potter store today. Believe me, it got me an arm and a leg.
Oh no! the one in Times Square?
No, the one in on 23rd Street that opened up.
Oh, 23rd Street.
The Experience one. It has some good butter beer. It's good stuff though.
Okay.
Oh wow!
This?
Gargantuas.
Gargantua. The green Gargantua. Oh my god!
Yeah, they didn't make the brown one. No figure. Then found this bastard.
Oh yeah!
Nice.
But believe it or not, this is a knockoff.
Oh man!
Holy shit!
This thing cost me something like $80 at the most. Dirt cheap. But
dude, that's the 70s Godzilla, right? 70s.
Yeah.
Late 70s.
Here's the other one. Do you remember I think they ran this movie on the 4:30 movie once. Do you remember Jogura, the space monster?
Yes.
Yes.
Jogura.
Oh shit!
And it glows in the dark.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you got that at Toy Tokyo? All of those things?
No, I have a friend who's he's a hardcore collector of Japanese import toys. And when he finds something he knows I'd be interested in, he goes, "Hey, check this out." And then I snag it.
Right. That's pretty cool.
There's Jason, there's a lot of Godzilla. The Godzilla license for Toho are pretty big, and different people make different versions of Godzilla. And actually, I saw recently a really great what's the name of that last fucking Godzilla movie that I keep telling everybody to see? Shin Godzilla. I saw a really great Shin Godzilla model because that thing is creepy as fuck. I love that movie. Oh, blah.
I will refrain from
What was that, Steve?
I will refrain from comment.
Oh, you don't like Shin Godzilla.
You don't like it?
Tough crowd.
Why
folks.
is that? Break this down, because this was a big conversation for us a couple of months ago.
I don't like the design, and when I go to see a Godzilla movie, which I saw that in the theater, I don't go to see a political commentary. Fuck that. I want destruction and monsters.
He's just
really need to see a satire on Japanese politics. Fuck your mother. I'm not having it. No.
See, I enjoyed the politics part, but I agree with you that there wasn't enough Godzilla in it. There wasn't enough fighting in it. I agree with you at that point. But I enjoy seeing the political side of how the Japanese would deal with something like this, because we never, we just see them coming with these laser guns and shooting missiles, but you never see the decision process. You know that there's tons of chaos and politics when it comes to any kind of political decision. So why wouldn't there be one for Godzilla? You know what I'm trying to say?
True, but decision making in politics does not make for exciting monsters.
I agree. But it won the Academy Award in Japan. That's how much they thought about it.
Yes, it did. So Steve, rolling in. Speaking of Godzilla movies, what did you think? I'm going to start small. What have you been thinking of the legendary movies so far?
With the exception of Godzilla vs. Kong, they're garbage.
See, that's what I got to ask you. What makes Godzilla vs. Kong better than King of Monsters and Godzilla?
It had a shitload of monster fights, and it was a lot of actual fun. And also, they don't pull that bullshit where you have Godzilla start fighting another monster, and then, oh, sorry, we're gonna close the door. Oh, fuck you. No. And Godzilla, King of the Monsters, I finally saw that, or I should more honestly say, I watched about the first 2/3 before I turned it off. I was bored out of my mind. The only thing I liked in that movie was Rodan. That was a fucking awesome scene. The rest of it, did not care.
There's a couple of things I liked about it. But Rodan, you're right. Rodan
loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you were saying.
I like what they did with Mothra, but overall, I'm old school. I don't want to see CGI Godzilla. I want to see a dude in a suit. I want to see practical effects. That's just me, and it's unfortunately CGI has allowed us to do anything at the expense of actual artistry.
Right.
Which is not to say that computer artists are not artists, but there's something to be said about the reality and the physical volume of a practical effect. I mean, look at American Werewolf in London. Can you imagine if
that was great, right?
Done with CGI? No.
Right. Yeah. No. With CGI,
Baker was actually.
Yeah, Baker.
You know what I'm saying? Baker was actually on. That was one of Joe Rogan's best podcasts when he had Baker on, and he talked about that movie and that scene, and basically why he just kind of is out of the game because he's tired of CGI. He wants to actually do it the old school way, where we actually see, every little detail, and we see the difference, and how the monsters or creatures evolve, for example. And he doesn't want the CGI world, and he just thinks Hollywood is, pushing that down people's throats, and he just got so tired of it. Apparently, he was like, "I'm out," and he just disappeared basically from the movie business. Even though people keep trying to pull him back in, it's actually a good podcast because he was actually asking him, questions that you as a movie fan would actually want to, kind of going step by step through his movies. It's pretty interesting.
I'll do you one better than that. Have either of you seen his two volume hardcover autobiography?
That's what they were talking about that's when it came out. That's when he's talking about it. Yeah.
I treated myself to that for my birthday last year. I could not put it down. It's an incredible book, and it's expensive as fuck, but it is worth every cent. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's history. You're holding history. Movie history in your hands, basically. It's crazy.
His influences are really fucking great. He's completely influenced by all the stuff that happened in the 30s and 40s, and he brings all that to it. So he did it. He was in one of the best things about the Universal Werewolf movie. The movie itself is kind of like, is that he did the fucking the effects for it. I mean, they did.
The Wolfman remake.
Yeah, the Roofman remake. He did like the
Yeah.
he did the masks and the hands and the body parts and stuff. They did
with no
CGI.
money. These things were done with no money at the time.
Yeah, well, not anymore.
Well,
Right.
that film, I'll give it this. That transformation scene in the mental institution is fucking great.
It's fucking
That was
fantastic.
worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The rest of the movie, like,
yeah. The rest of the movie was bad, but that and the fight, the two werewolf fights at the two werewolf fighting at the end was pretty cool. But the unfortunate thing is that the story could have used some help. I mean, it didn't have. Look, it had great actors doing shitty roles. They just didn't have enough. There wasn't enough in there, you know.
well, also when you don't bring in Gilbert Gottfried in drag to play the old gypsy, there's no point. Oh, your path was thorny. Oh, beware the moon. You gotta love it.
Gilbert Godfrey.
When I met him, I brought up. When I met
The
him,
movie gods are upset at us.
I printed up a Photoshop piece of his face on the old gypsy and got him to sign it.
He must have been laughing. He's kind of the guy that would laugh at that.
He's
and also got the classic Bela Lugosi shot with his head.
He does his own podcast, by the way. Gilbert Gottfried does a podcast all about old Hollywood, and it's fucking fantastic. And I told you we talked about this recently as well. Disney. We talked about he has a 2-episode thing of that creator that we were just talking about, and he talks about all kinds of stuff. And he talks about all kinds of stuff. He talks about how every Halloween he does this huge thing with his family where everybody gets dressed up and stuff. Oh well, Steve will be right back, folks. Meanwhile, back at the garage.
It is pouring out there, folks. Just want people to know that
is happening to you too?
Yeah, it's the movie gods upset of us.
Oh my God!
It is coming down.
It's coming down in buckets.
This is real stuff out here, folks. This isn't just a plaything we're doing. We're giving you forecasts. We're giving you all sorts of things happening at the same time.
Forecast. Okay.
Steve's back.
You might have seen this last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. A friend of mine, when she sent the envelope, she sent it with an alias, and I'm like, "Who the fuck is this?" And she was at a reading with this guy. Knowing he'd be there, she went and got me this.
Nice. That's fucking nice. Good stuff.
Have that one in it.
Yeah, so Rick Baker does great shit.
Yeah. He's one of the greats. He's one of the greats.
Just look him up on IMDb. That's really cool too. Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it was sad because I got to meet Jim Kelly like a few months before he died, and he was looking bad.
No.
Cancer's a bitch.
Hey Steve, you're looking pretty good considering.
I'm working on it. Thank you.
I still don't understand. What I don't understand is why Steve doesn't like seeing Godzilla in Atlantis. He was in Atlantis, Steve. Godzilla was in Atlantis. I can't wrap my head around that.
Which was kind of silly because I'm sorry, I refuse to believe that Atlantis was built by a bunch of giant gorillas, even within the context of Godzilla madness. Did either of you ever see the old Godzilla movie where Godzilla and Anguirus talked?
Yes.
Yes.
We've seen all the
all of them, right?
That
Comet TV actually still shows them like every Tuesday, by the way. If you ever have that channel. I don't know how it. I have YouTube TV because I just got rid of cable, and it's one of the channels that's on it, and it's like every Tuesday or something like that. They'll just do a string of Godzilla movies from like 6 a.m. to like 6 p.m. straight through. It's great.
Good stuff,
I
man.
just got them all on DVD.
Yeah.
You know, it's like all the Toho ones, that is.
Right.
But I got to get those back. I loaned them. I loaned all of them to my nephew when he turned 13 because he's like, "Are these movies any good?" And that was 2 years ago, and I haven't seen them since.
Oh no!
He's not like the biggest. He is so insane for Godzilla and Toho movies. He would have sex with a Godzilla doll if you let it.
I actually,
I'm talking about you.
I actually have them all digitally. So if you need a set, let me know. To see, to watch. I'm not giving anything away, folks. Please don't call anyone.
Nice. Not pirating in any capacity.
Jesus Christ, they go right after you, man. The Toho, by the way, we were talking about the Smog Monster. What we were talking about, Jason? We were talking about the Smog Monster movie and how fucking perfect.
Like it was one of how before ahead of its time it was. We're like in the 60s and 70s, they're talking about global warming, and now we're like living it. You know what I'm trying to say? Literally, we're being eaten away by smog. Fires from LA killing us over here. It's crazy.
There's fires from LA and Greece.
That movie came out when I was 6, and I was living in San Francisco at the time, and I was like, "Mom, we got to go see Godzilla on the big screen." And the fucked up thing was, it wasn't playing anywhere near us.
Right.
So
See it again.
I didn't see it for years.
Oh, that's.
But when you saw it, what was your first? Isn't that one of your favorite Godzilla movies? To me, that's
no,
that's my really.
It's one of my favorite Godzilla monsters.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love
Hedra's awesome. Hydra
on the west side. But I do love the bit where the guy's tripping out in the club. Like fish people and shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Right. The disco thing they were in.
I have to say there's a couple. I have a couple of base like the go-to movies that I tell people to see. The Toho movies are the first Godzilla movie, of course, but the Japanese version, not the American version. Although the American version has its parts, the Japanese version is much better. Monster Zero.
Yes.
Yes. Godzilla versus Megalon, just for the camp.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of Destroy All Monsters because I think Monster Zero is a better version. I think Monster Zero is a better.
Thank you.
Better story.
Exactly.
Yeah. So and then when you move into the new and of course Godzilla vs King Kong and Godzilla vs Mothra. Now those movies themselves are fantastic. As far as the non-Godzilla movies, I only really like Rodan. As far as Toho, because it's just an excellent film. And then
I love Mothra. You don't like
Mothra? Okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Although when you think about it, you realize it kind of sort of rips off the plot of King Kong.
A little bit.
And it's not, to me, it's if it's on, I'll watch it, but I don't recommend it. I don't tell people to see it because I think that Godzilla versus Mothra, that particular movie, it does it's a little better than that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they're known commodities, and you're watching, you're like, get all that stuff. Now, when you get into the millennial movies, the '80s movies, right? I think that the Godzilla versus Biollante, Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, and you don't like Space Godzilla. Well, you have Modroid, so that's fun.
Terrible design, but it's and also the original design for Mothra from the Mysterians blows that one out of the water.
That's true. Oh, and I'm of course forgetting Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, which
that was fun, and also that was 60s though.
Yeah, I think that's 68.
The 90s one's my favorite. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah, yes.
In the 90s, you never the time travel with Someday you'll tell your son about this, Lieutenant Spielberg. Remember
Yes, that was great. There was a lot. Those '90s movies were weird because they were like, first of all, Toho was gonna make as many fucking movies as they could, and they were just like, let's keep them moving, let's keep moving. But then they hit this like Godzilla Millennial. Oh, Godzilla vs. Destroyer, of course. Who doesn't like a radioactive Godzilla destroying Hong Kong? Me, I love it. But then after that, you kind of get into this kind of like wacky ninja space guy thing that I didn't like. You know, I didn't like those. You know, Tokyo Attack and the other one. They're bad films. Although there is the one where they have Baby Godzilla in the car with them in the pickup truck.
Right.
Just
that scene was pretty awesome. But they were bad movies.
He's driving a car.
Those ninja ones are terrible. But the one where was it Tokyo SOS that had Godzilla just showing up and kicking the shit out of every monster he could get his hands on? That was hilarious. It's just like he just wanders into the scene, like, he just kick your ass. Like, okay.
Was it? There was one of the '90s ones where he came back as the Spirit of Vengeance, and the good guy was Ghidorah. I forget which movie that was. Yeah, but it was fucked up because Godzilla had the demon face in that one, right? His eyes were glowing red, and he had demon face. And Ghidorah and Ghidorah was like, "I gotta fight this guy? I don't know." I forget which one that is, but it's really fucked up. and that one also has a moderator.
That was Baragon, Mothra, King Ghidorah, All Monsters Attack.
Yeah, that was also
another convoluted.
Yeah, All Monsters Attack, but it was. Go
ahead.
I was just gonna. It was All Monsters Attack. That's it.
Well, have you guys, when it gets to the like your wackier Japanese giant monster movies, have you seen Death Kappa?
What?
No, I have not. I'm googling right now.
Kappa. Death Kappa.
Death Kappa.
A must see.
Okay.
It's fucking hilarious.
2010.
The Kappa
favorite
is the water goblin that are closely associated with a certain town. Because unfortunately, the area is also home to a militant school. Oh, well, that's it. I gotta watch this one. Holy cat.
Yeah, when we get done, I'll send you guys the links to my reviews on these because just that one needs a bit of background.
Death.
What we'll do, we'll send you the link. We'll send you a link to when we post this, and you can put it in the comments.
The poster is badass, though. Look at him. Look at him with one eye looking over.
What was
the other monsters over his shoulder?
Yeah. What was the one where there was a family of bird monsters? And
that's known in the U.S. as Monster from the Prehistoric Planet, also known as Kappa the Triphibian Monster. Garbage film. And it completely rips off.
Oh, remember Gorgo?
What? It completely rips off what?
It's the plot of Gorgo.
Oh.
Only with 3 monsters instead of 2.
Right, because there's a child monster involved.
Right.
Which is kind of shitty.
Gorgo's badass.
Yeah.
Gorgo was an English movie, wasn't it? Or was it Korean?
Yes.
No, it's British.
Yeah.
Made by the same people who did the giant behemoth.
Both Koreans did their own Godzilla.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
There's
Oh, wait. Are you thinking of Yongari?
Yongari's the Korean one. Yeah.
Pogasari and Yongari, right?
Yeah, but Mystery Science Theater did Yongari a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Great show. That show should never ended.
Oh man, but they do have riff tracks, man.
Yeah.
That show was great. Yongari's great.
Some of those are hilarious.
They are.
All the Gamera ones. All the Gamera ones are great.
Well, I was never a Gamera guy because they were just too kiddie for me. But in recent years, when they reissued them in widescreen and just with good prints, totally different experience. Even though there's some of them are still pretty bad, but I love some of the monsters. My favorite being Viras, that squid thing. I love him. But he's got a bad attitude and can walk.
It walks. It's a bad attitude. There's a shark one with the Chinese stars that come out of its head, and then of course there's the one that eats people.
Oh, he went to get something. He's got the shark.
As that might is maybe one of my favorite kaiju of all time because it was used as the basis of Knifehead from the giant robot movie, the Gypsy Danger fights.
Did he throw that one across the screen?
Pacific Rim.
You just Pacific Rim. You're just gonna blur over the Matthew Broderick Godzilla movies, right? You're just gonna blur right over them. They didn't exist.
He's not in that movie.
Exactly.
No, but there's a Matthew Broderick. Remember the Matthew Broderick Godzilla?
We got a few other here.
Yes. You don't remember the Matthew Broderick Godzilla?
You'll appreciate this one.
Biolante.
Yep.
Biolante in all its rubber glory. Oh, look at him! Oh, that's awesome. He's out in the town.
You know why the eyes are like that?
Why?
Because the designer was afraid of vaginas. Seriously. That's on record, him saying that.
Vaginas can be scary.
Another classic.
Oh yeah. Megalon. You got a space chicken?
No, I don't.
Oh. There he is! Oh yes! Fucking he's the best!
Guiron.
Yeah, Guiron. I was just talking about how much I loved the knife head monster from Pacific Rim and how it was obviously based on Guiron. And
Del Toro's into that shit.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah. The saddest thing about Pacific Rim is the sequel's so bad it's unwatchable.
I refuse.
I've tried more than once. They really fucked that up. I don't know how they could do that. It's amazing. I mean, they even
got one more for you. Wait a minute. Sorry about this.
Guys, don't apologize. It's fantastic. Everybody's having a good time.
The second one, they try to add. They throw everything in the kitchen sink. That was the problem with that. They didn't just want to tell a story. They wanted to get.
Yeah, I mean,
you got miniature robots and you got kids.
The problem was there was no fucking story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and there was no positive. Like nothing was positive. It was all kind of like, oh, really fucked now again. Oh, we're fucked again. Oh, are we fucked? Yes, we are. Oh, I guess we're fucked. It's like, come on. The good thing about Pacific Rim is that it ended on this high note. You know.
Right.
Holy shit. It's fucking great. It's great.
Okay.
Idris Elba's in it.
Yeah, and Idris Elba's in it. And he's preempting the apocalypse. Whatever the fuck he's saying.
All right.
All right. Yes!
Ah, nice.
The moving mouth. Like that.
Oh, Harryhausen. Harryhausen. The Cyclops. That's Cyclops from
Sinbad, right?
Oh, shit!
Nice.
Nice. All the Sinbad movies. Again, another bunch of favorite movies. The Sinbad movies.
Right.
Can't go wrong.
Used to be on Channel 5 all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yes!
Ah, there he is. Your favorite. Everyone's favorite.
My favorite. The Robot Kong from...
And of course, one of my favorites, and people think I'm crazy for loving, but it's so awful that I had to have it.
Moisture. Give me moisture.
Remember him?
Yes. The carrot from Lost in Space.
Yep. No shame. No shame at all.
That show was like Made by the same guy who did Voice of the Bottom of the Sea and some other great television shows from the 60s. Erwin Allen.
You know why Lost in Space went off the rails?
Why?
Because the first season, as if you remember, the first season, it was basically more or less serious. Then season 2 came along, and they went to color. But while they were halfway through season 1, Batman came on.
Oh,
and every show that was like some kind of like sci-fi or superheroes or whatever, for the next 2 years, everybody wanted to go camp.
Right.
And it destroyed everything. Lost in Space got ruined because of it. And don't even get me started on season 3 of The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
But the thing is that it's not the same. You could. There was space for all of that. You could have the Batman show, which was completely campy and ridiculous, and still have an actual.
Right.
Yes. But that's the thing. Like the plan. Oh, we're running out of time, guys. So might have to start and stop again, if you guys want to continue. There's going to be a 10-minute. We're going to be ending in 10 minutes. But yeah, to your point, the Batman stuff was great, but everybody else was kind of like, oh, let's just be funny. The good thing about it is that this didn't infect. Star Trek was already over by that time, right? Batman started.
No.
Star Trek started. Yeah. Star Trek was started in
67.
Right?
Star Trek started in 67.
Okay. But it was some serious TV.
Even early on in the TV world, we saw how executives got in the way of good TV. Basically, exactly. Somebody came up to them and said, "Hey, let's do what Batman's doing." Ruined it all.
Yeah, but you see, Batman was written as an intentional parody, and it was written by legit comedy writers. Whereas you got shows like Lost in Space, where you had hacks trying to create stuff that was intentionally bad, and that never worked. And in fact, you gotta love that the guy who wrote the most bad episodes of Lost in Space, and he wrote dozens of them, his real name was Peter Packer.
That says it all.
Did you ever see the Lost in Space where the robot met Chavo, the space Mexican?
Yes. Oh God.
There's a silver Mexican dude with a sombrero and bandoliers in a spacesuit. And he's like, "Hey, robot, how are you doing?" And he gets the robot drunk on tequila.
Yes.
And the best part is the robot comes back to the camp and he's fucking hammered. And he falls over, and Dr. Smith is like just looking at him like, "What the fuck?" And Will's like, "Dr. Smith, what's wrong with the robot?" "Well, young William, it would appear that our bubble-headed friend has had a snoot full."
You remember the episode where the robot got giant? He got really big, and they had to go in. They had to go inside him to shrink him back down. And the last 2 minutes of the show was them trying to get out of the robot before the robot shrunk back down to normal size. And by the way, who gives a fuck? It was the dumbest fucking movie show, but I watched it every time, and I was so happy when it was on.
I love Lost in Space, but my favorite moment though. Remember the one with the mighty Neolani?
Oh yeah.
Okay, she shows up, and Dr. Smith, being the douchebag that he is, he tries to weasel his way into her affections.
Yes.
So he pretends to be an artist and like paint her picture and all this. Meanwhile, Will and the robot are enslaved, right? And so Will asks the robot, "Why the hell is why is she so fond of Dr. Smith and his artist bullshit?" And the robot just looks at him with that, the bubble with no expression. Vincent, the female of the species, has a soft spot for artists. And it cuts back to Will. How do you know so much about the female of the species? And it cuts back to the robot with that no expression. I have been around, Will Robinson. I have been around.
The robot's
No.
You can't make it up.
The robot, by the way, the robot, which was a giant prop. I don't know. Was there anybody in it driving it? I don't think so, right?
Yeah. There was an actor named Bob May, and the voice was Dick Tufeld. Like, remember the guy who at the beginning of every episode is like, when last we saw the Robinson family? That's the guy who did the voice of the robot.
Right on, man. That show was great. And there were tons of shows that were on around the same time that Irwin Allen created. The only other show that I watched on a regular basis was Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, which I thought was great, mostly because it was very toyetic. Not only did it have a fucking submarine with a big light on it, which, by the way, looked like a big fish, looked like a porpoise. It also had the flying sub, which was a pancake of a submarine that flew out of the water, and you were like,
How did it happen?
fantastic.
Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, just like Lost in Space, started out serious and then just went right off the rails. Remember the one where there was a werewolf on the sea view?
Yeah.
A fucking werewolf.
Wasn't there a giant crab man too?
The crab man. Then there was that big underwater monster that looked like it was covered with hair, but it had these two big eyes that made it look like hairy balls.
Oh, listen, we need a monster for this episode. What do you got? I got a monkey suit and some giant balls.
Right.
Put him on the monkey suit. Let's do it.
He's a genius.
He's a genius, that guy.
He hangs his balls in front of the camera, turns the camera upside down. There we go. Bring in a plastic submarine.
Yeah, and they also did the great thing, which is every time they used to move the camera and they used to go back and forth against when they got shaken or whatever.
Right.
Just like Star Trek.
There were two of them. Remember, there was one with Carol O'Connor as a villain, and then there was another one with Vincent Price as an evil puppeteer, and he had these puppets of like the Seaview's crew, and they were like, imagine Muppet versions of those guys that looked exactly like them. It was just creepy as fuck.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money on that episode.
Yeah.
So we're down to the last 2 minutes of this, and I think we should. If you guys want to do another 40 minutes, we can.
It's up to you two. I'm good.
I'm good. We can do another 40 minutes. So we're gonna bounce out here in a minute. There was one more thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about Gamera, but I want to talk about the stuff that came out in the 90s. Did you see any of those movies? Cool. And we can talk about that in a minute. And we also, if we have like a commercial break. I can't believe it. We could also talk about some of the stuff that's been happening lately. I don't know if you've been watching any of the Disney stuff, Steve, but we could talk about that. And I do want to talk about politics, but it's so fucking boring now. I mean, what's her name was kicked off of Twitter, which is fucking fantastic. I want everybody who talks shit to get kicked off of their fucking, their megaphones. Get them the fuck off of off of there.
I agree.
That Marjorie, whatever her name is, she's a dumbass. Jesus
Marjorie
Christ.
Taylor Greene, MTG.
And you still haven't. And by the way, Jason, have you watched any of Lasso? Any Ted Lasso?
No,
season?
I'm trying to knock them all at one time. I tell you, this isn't 1983. This isn't Saint Elsewhere, where I gotta wait every other week to watch a show. I want to watch them all at one time and knock them out. You know my thing with that. Am I wrong?
That.
See, come on.
I'm with you.
I don't know.
I can't wait for another week until they give me another episode. Come on.
All right. So we have a minute and 53 seconds.
It's called evolution. We've evolved from that, my friend.
Tickety tock tock. Yeah, come on though. It's Ted Lasso.
I understand, but I want to actually enjoy it, and I like wait every 2 episodes.
You know what else we could talk about? We could talk about Steve's favorite superhero when we come back to.
Right after these commercial break.
He's like, "Who's my favorite superhero?" I'll lead you. Don't worry.
Because the popcorn commercial. Go to get popcorn.
It's gone.
It just turned black and then it came back. What was that? That was crazy.
What was that?
It was like
Your audio went. Your audio. No. Hold on. My speaker's dead. Do. Mac speakers. What happened? Disconnected. Hold on. I can't hear a word you're saying. Can't hear a word. Okay. Can you hear me?
yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I can. And for some reason it's okay. Steve, you're back in time for us to go. So we're gonna log off and then log back on.
One more.
Okay, wait. We'll be right back.
Okay.
It's like, oh, thank you.
Okay, I'm back.
Sesame. Yeah. So you were just about to show us your toy.
What is Exorcist fans?
Exorcist?
Exorcist, you said?
The Exorcist.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah.
The movie.
Oh shit!
Nice. That's creepy. That's creepy. That's great.
Or right next to my bong. We also have.
Captain Howdy.
You ever see the movie Fantastic Planet, the animated one?
Yeah, that movie's crazy.
We have Kiva.
Wow.
Remember the big green girl?
That's cool too.
Do you ever see the movie Fantastic Planet?
Another movie.
No.
Excellent movie.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
But I gotta check it out.
You gotta, but keep it away from your kids.
Another 4:30 movie classic. Wait, I disagree with you, Jesus. I saw that movie when I was 8.
Exactly.
I saw it when I was 10, dude, and I think it's one of the reasons why I use LSD on a regular basis. Anyway.
Remember this guy from the 4:30 movie?
Oh, nice.
Yes! By the way, when Steve and I worked together at DC Comics, Steve would pass me videos all the time for the kids. And one of the ones he gave me was Grave of the Fireflies, right? And I think I told you about this.
Yeah,
So-
you did talk about it.
He gave me Totoro and he gave me Grave of the Fireflies. The kids spent a summer watching that fucking movie. And I'm like, it's really sad. Aren't you guys sad?
Never made.
Grave of the Fireflies. They said, it's sad, but we really like it, Dad. I'm like, dude.
Here's another one. Another 4:30 movie. They only ran this one twice. Remember this guy?
Oh, I think I've seen that. I only saw it once. But yeah.
Yeah, he's a samurai statue that comes to life.
Right.
It's a giant statue.
And okay, here are the last. I promise you, the last ones.
Don't promise me that.
This was supposedly Youngery, which I don't believe.
No, it's not.
No.
Can't be. Look at his head.
Mexican knockoff Iron Man.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, but pink and silver?
It's crazy.
I mean, okay, but you know.
Mexican Reed Richards. No
Okay.
Catcher's mitt.
The catcher's fit.
He's playing baseball. What?
But here's one that's a knockoff, but is excellent. Better than any of the American ones. Mexican Human Torch.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's really
look
good.
at this.
It's fucking awesome.
Anyway, back to the conversation.
All right. So I know that I'm leading Steve, but we were talking about when I worked with Steve at DC Comics. One of the things that we really actually liked was the animated Justice League show, and in the animated Justice League show, there was a really great treatment, of Hawkgirl, which was like really well done. Like it's like, first of all the characters in the Justice League animated show were well done, but you know, Hawkgirl and Green Lantern were specifically awesome. This is the first one, not Justice League Unlimited. That came later. But even then, in Justice League Unlimited, all the characters in Justice League Unlimited were fantastic. But Steve, you're a big fan of the Hawk Girl, right? Did you have a Hawk Girl maquette at one time?
So this Fantastic Planet was a French movie?
Yeah. It came out it came out like 1973.
That's exactly what it is. I've seen some freaky stuff in it. I did definitely.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Here you go, Jesus.
There you go.
Oh, there she
awesome.
is.
Look at that.
Yeah, but
That was a
like they're too stiff. I mean, look at this.
Right.
Yeah, well, they're maquettes. They're not supposed to be able to, like,
Even
they're supposed to. They're animation. Whatchamacallits for the people who drew them. But yeah, man, that show in particular was really great, and we would watch it every week because the kids really liked it. It was the best. And we were talking about this as well. It came on the heels of the Superman animated show, which was also really good, and had one of the best animated DC shows of all time, the Titano episode, where Lois Lane was in love with a monkey. Titano! And Superman was like, I can't kill this thing because she loves it.
I can't compete with this thing.
I can't compete with Titano. Titano! They sent Titano to space. Like, Lois was best friends with this monkey, and they sent him to space, and he comes back, and he's giant. It's awesome. Just fucking great. And the voice actors, like, were actually paid people to do, like, this is like the beginning of really expensive voice actors, like real actors that did the voices for these things. Like, I mean, all the voice actors are actors. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to shit on anybody.
It's an art form.
But Lois Lane was played by what's her name from China Beach, and it was yes, and she did a great job, and it was kind of shocking actually. And then it went on to do the animated shows, the other animated shows and stuff. And the DC Comics animated movies aren't bad.
Have you seen that one that takes place in the 70s and it's Batman with all the Kung Fu heroes?
No, I haven't.
No.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, that is awesome. I can't remember the title, but it's fucking great.
Yeah, I saw. I didn't see that one. The last one I saw was the first part of Long Halloween.
Well, with that 70s one, they Richard Dragon as literally Bruce Lee. So you can't go wrong with that.
No.
And you got I forget who did the voice of the Bronze Tiger, but he was great. And Shiva's in there too. It's just you can't go wrong.
Oh man, anytime you put any kind of those characters in there, any of the DC martial arts characters, I'm there. They're great. They're freaking great, and they're really. DC kind of had a better. I know that Marvel had Shang-Chi. I know that Marvel had Iron Fist. I know. And White Tiger, and all those, and the Son of the Tiger, and whatever. I've always kind of felt that the DC ones were a little bit more authentic. It's my point of view. Maybe I'm full of shit. I don't know, but the DC ones, to me, seemed a little bit more authentic, and they were a little bit like Lady Shiva. I mean, come on, hands down, one of the best martial arts characters of all time. And all the characters that were introduced, in the Green Arrow series, the Longbow Hunters, great shit, But that's me. Who am I? But a fan of Mike Grell and and some of the other people that use it. So, okay, so we were talking about some of the newer stuff that's been coming out, Steve. Steve, how do you feel about the Marvel stuff? I'm talking about the Marvel TV shows.
The Marvel TV shows, I have enjoyed all of them. Well, no. All of the ones that are on Disney streaming, those I've enjoyed. Because Iron Fist, not so much. I don't even want to talk about those Netflix shows. Forget those.
Right.
Yeah, although Daredevil, the first 2 seasons were decent. But and Jessica Jones season 1 was great. But as far as the recent ones, I loved Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Loki, I liked, but I thought it was basically modern Doctor Who done right. And then you get I loved MODOK. I thought that was hilarious.
Haven't seen it yet.
Wait, is that it? Yeah, that's it, isn't it? And the Black Widow, I like that, but it came too late for its own good.
Yeah.
Too long for no good reason. And also, the main villain, the guy who was running the Red Room, he was a big nothing.
Yeah.
And also,
I agree.
How do you squander?
Right.
How do you squander the Taskmaster?
Right.
You should have put the Taskmaster in a movie up against Captain America.
Right.
Well, I mean, they had to give her something to fight the gravitas. I know that there are other Marvel characters that could have fit that bill. I also could think that maybe there's more than one Taskmaster. Who knows? They could do all kinds of shit. They kept dropping other Russian heroes in there. They talked about Red Dynamo. They talked about some other characters. So I was a little interested in what would happen. And the thing is, I think that DC's dropping the ball. What? What'd you say, Steve?
You were frozen.
Oh, I was? I'm sorry.
You were frozen.
Am I still frozen?
Yeah, you. No.
Now everybody's frozen. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Hey, how about now? No? Aye. Lots of frozen time here, folks.
Whatever you do at Zoom is not happy with it. Are you putting that CNN guy when you're walking out? You think it's all?
Was I talking the whole time? You hear me?
You're just smiling. You're just smiling.
Yep.
You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Look very
Shit
happy.
broke. You know, some of the times when the stuff freezes and you talk for a while, it's actually pretty funny. I kind of like it. I thought it happened a couple times over the last few times that we owned, because yeah. And then, but he'll keep talking, and it's really kind of hilarious. Yeah,
Gotta keep the audience moving.
I'm looking forward to What If. It
What about
starts
the
tomorrow.
Scarlet Witch? Did Steve like Scarlet Witch?
Yeah, did you like Scarlet Witch and Vision?
Yeah.
So you think Disney's on the right? So you think Disney's on the right track for what they're doing?
Yeah, well, think about it. They can't really flesh out these characters in individual movies.
No,
because
not really.
who's going to pay money to see a Scarlet Witch movie? Nobody, other than geeks like us.
Right.
That's
Right.
we're a small percentage of the audience.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen with the Black Panther. You know?
Well, they're not recasting it.
No, I know. So what are they going to fucking do?
CGI him?
No, I don't think he's going to be in it.
Oh, is that it? Is that true?
Yeah, I think it's going to be his sister. Well, in this comics, his sister takes over on Big Black.
But weren't they shooting Weren't they shooting it when he was still alive?
No, they haven't started yet.
They didn't start. Oh, okay.
They don't have the script yet.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm just waiting for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
That's the one I want to see.
Steve, I have a question to ask you, because you have a brain. You have a very big brain. How do you think they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four to the cinematic universe?
We've had discussions on this. Break it down, Steve.
Via the multiverse. It's that simple. It's the multiverse, or if I had my way, I'd have it be a time travel thing and have them come into the present from the 60s.
You know what?
Your best Fantastic Four story of the 60s.
It's that actually makes a lot of sense. I don't think it, but it's also kind of like That happens in the comics all the time because they took the X-Men from the early X-Men and brought them into the future at one point. And it worked. It was Brian Michael Bendis was able to do something cool with it. But I don't know if they can do that kind of... I'm not going to say I don't know. I think they can. I think you're right. But is it going to happen? It would be a great way to do it, though.
It's going to have to be the multiverse. Because let's face it, you can't just bring in the FF as a brand new team because they are hands down the most experienced Marvel heroes.
Right.
And also, they're not even really heroes when you think about it. They're a scientific exploration team. And so, for all we know, you could bring them in by saying, oh, well, 20 years ago, this family got lost in another dimension and then bring them in.
Well, I think that
Makes sense.
we might see some of that in the Ant-Man movie. You know,
That would be nice.
yeah. I just want the Fantastic Four. We were talking about how shitty every version of the Fantastic Four has been, and I was telling, Jay, it's mostly shitty because Fox doesn't know how to fucking make a movie. They know how to make a fucking movie. They're the worst.
Right.
How do you?
I'm sorry, but when you
How do you, as the owners of something as awesome as Alien and The Predator, fuck it up?
oh, God.
Right.
James Cameron was like, good.
I knew the FF movies were in trouble when you have Galactus appearing as a big fart.
Right.
What the fuck was that? And their excuse was, oh, well, you can't do special effects to make a giant guy look cool. I'm like, fuck you. You ever see the Time Bandits?
Not only that, fuck, it's like the Marvel movies are every time people say we can't do that, we can't put people in suits we can't do that either. It's like to the point where it's ridiculous. It's like, of course you can. You can do anything.
Right.
You know why? You're a fucking movie.
Right.
Oh, and you know what else? I want to see if they're going to. They've blown it every other time. I want to see if they're going to keep the May-December element of the championship because their age difference plays a great deal into making the dynamic interesting.
Yeah.
And also, if they do bring them in, I want to see the Submariner come in there and just basically swinging big dick energy everywhere.
Well, they did cast a Submariner. It's going to be in the Panther movie, right? So we'll see something. And that guy is pretty handsome. All right, if we're going to talk about Latinos in movies, right, and in the Marvel universe, let's start with the fact that we have a Moon Knight series that's coming out that I actually can't wait to see with Oscar, what's his name, and he's also in the Dune movie playing Duke Leto, and I can't wait to see that either. And I think did you see the trailer for the last trailer for the Dune movie, Jay? I think I might have.
Yes, I did.
Pushed it out to you.
Yeah. Right.
It's
I did see it.
It's so fucking good.
He does.
And Jason Momoa says it might be there's 6 hours worth of fucking movie out there.
Bluetooth is connecting.
You broke up. What was the first thing you said about Doom? You broke up just when you said something about Doom.
Hold on, guys. Something happened just now, and I don't know what's going on. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you good. You broke up for a second.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Scooby Doo Doo.
When is Doom supposed to come out? Is it November? Thanksgiving?
October,
is it?
yeah. It's supposed to come out in October. So I'm looking forward to it.
October's a weird release month for that, though.
Yeah, that's what
After Thanksgiving or December.
I was thinking. That's
You know
why I
why?
thought that November.
it's because of what happened with all the shit. Like Bond got pushed into Thanksgiving, like the week before Thanksgiving, so they don't want to go wanted to go against that. It's sandwiched between 3 fucking Marvel movies, right? Shang-Chi comes out in September.
That movie is. I am not looking forward to that. It's just from what I've seen of the trailers and stuff and the story. It's Shang-Chi in name only. It has nothing to do with Shang-Chi.
That's it.
Well,
come on, Jesus, say it.
Here's the thing about I give Marvel movies a little bit of latitude because unfortunately some of these characters are bringing in were from the 70s where it was like they can't use Fu Manchu, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like Fu Manchu. I mean, you can, but now with what's going on with the idea of race and stuff, it kind of gets a little bogged down with that. So what do you do?
Yeah, but I'm even talking about Fu Manchu. Did you ever read a lot of like the Paul Galassi Shang-Chi?
I did not.
No.
That's why you're saying that, because it's Shang-Chi at its best. It was a James Bond story starring a Chinese guy.
Yeah.
And it had nothing. In particular, look up the arc called the Infinity Blossom. That was amazing. And you had Shang-Chi basically dressed like a normal person, none of this barefoot shit, but there's plenty there that they could have used, and they chose not to.
Well, they went the easy route. You're saying they went the easy route.
Well, it's the lazy route.
Yeah.
And with the Eternals, I want to show that out of my mind on whatever drugs I can get my hands on. Because if they do the special effects right, the first several issues of that book, when Kirby was drawing it, that was like doing acid. So you got to bring that to that one. And I don't think
he came back to Marvel for the Eternals, right? Like he left Marvel, did all that shit at DC, and then came back and did the Eternals for Marvel, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember picking that book up in '76. I wanted to say, did he come back in '76? He did the Captain America bicentennial ish special edition, Treasury issue, which is like a big 40-page 8x10 fucking magazine with a cardboard stock. It was like $2. I put that money down for that book. And then, like later that year, the Eternals came out, which was just another take on the basic story that he always does, which is like bad gods, good gods, things in the middle.
Oh yeah.
It's basically another take on New Gods, which, by the way, was some of the greatest DC comics they ever had.
Well, for me, the New Gods, I liked looking at it. I thought it was a little too far up its own ass, but of those Fourth World books that he did, hands down, my favorite's Mr. Miracle. That was great. Every issue of that was a win.
Well, they had a chance. DC had a chance to do a New Gods movie, and they dropped it. And I don't know what happened, but what's her name was attached to it, and it was going to be about Big Barda and Mr. Miracle, and that fell through. And I'm sorry. Like, as a fan, I feel bad because I would have loved to see those characters, in a movie. They appeared in animated, and they were great as animated characters. All the characters that were brought in the animated in the Justice League, where you saw those Darkseid and all those characters together, was a lot of fun. And there's a Justice League alternate universe story called what's it called? It's like Superman is Mexican, and it's like blood and something. It's really good. It's like It's Paul Dini and Justice League alternate movie.
Is it the Crisis on?
So what happens in it? What happens in it is General Zod basically sends his genetic material into space, and it's Zod's kid that becomes Superman, and he gets found by migrants, by Mexican migrants, and so he's like this lefty Superman character, and there's Batman is a vampiric version of Man-Bat, basically, and Wonder Woman is from the New Gods, and it's just a really great take on these characters. I just remember what the hell it's called.
Oh, I know the one.
Gods and Monsters. Gods and Monsters.
What's it?
Yeah.
Gods and Monsters.
Well,
Yeah.
if they did a Scott and Barta movie, DC would just fuck it up. I mean, they've only done what? Let's see. The only good movies they've made, Wonder Woman was 2/3 good. You had Damn and Suicide Squad. And there's a case like Aquaman. It's too long for its own good, but it's fun.
Aquaman? You like Aquaman?
It's fun to look at.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's,
Right.
I agree. Hold on one second, guys. I'm gonna see if I could. I'm gonna share my screen and show you this. Show you the trailer, only because it's so cool.
Herman Guerra. That's his name? Hernan Guerra?
All right, can you guys see my big trailer
Yeah,
screen?
yeah.
Yep.
At least 50 dead in the embassy massacre. A virtual house of
Put the volume up.
Superman's
Yeah, I saw this.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I actually did see this.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. There's a Russian one too, where the Russians find them. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Red Sun.
yeah. They did a
Red-
version of red. Anyway,
I've been here before. This time,
it's good. It's a good show. It's fun too. Yeah, they did. I didn't see that. Yeah, go ahead.
If I may suggest, since you
No, breaking up. Now
Are you
Steve
breaking up?
broke up.
Steve?
I have a little technical bring up the technical difficulty slate.
get the trailer for you there?
Trailer 4.
We heard trailer 4 and everything else broke up.
Yeah, that's all I heard. Oh no!
Hello?
Yeah, you're frozen, Steve.
Hello? From beyond. Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah, you got us?
we're back. You're back.
Yeah, we see you. Okay, now.
We can see you.
Okay, look up the trailer for Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave.
Oh no! Kung Fu from. Oh, there it is. First thing that comes up.
Beyond the Grave. Yeah, I see it.
Wu-Tang Collection.
Mm.
All right. I'm gonna share my screen.
Are they zombies?
All right, here we go. Is this
The
it?
New World. That's the movie. It's an hour 32 right there.
Oh, this is a movie?
No, that's the movie.
Yeah, that's the movie.
It just said the Wu-Tang Collection. Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave.
Trailer.
Go to YouTube.
The international trailer.
International trailer?
That's it. That's the one. That's the one you want.
Oh,
Chinese black magic.
the Holy Lightning.
Oh yeah, definitely watching this fucking movie. Get out of here.
Fire.
Oh yeah! Kingdom of Devils.
I didn't think you'd have the balls to come here. Why not? It's just an old folks' town.
Beyond the grave.
Since when have you changed your sex?
Wow! Oh!
Oh!
The witchcraft of the witchcrafts.
Right now.
Uh-oh. This is the whole movie.
Yeah. I'm
Smoke pots, flying corpses. Jesus. Annoying the spirits. Wow. Ooh.
Oh, look at that.
Burning stuff on wires.
And of course,
Ah!
with the music. Oh! The righteous fight against the spirit.
Yes! Right on! Kung Fu Vampire.
My new Halloween tradition.
Wow! I'm thoroughly enjoying this trailer.
And music by John Williams, of course.
All right. Well, that's it, folks. That's some fantastic work right there.
Actually,
Yes.
the music was stolen from Mad Max, and you know that bit where like the girls come out at the end and they say to the sorcerer, "Oh,
Right.
we're ready," and they throw that stuff at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whorehouse. They were prostitutes on their periods, and they were throwing menstrual pads at it. And that's what the blood magic stops his magic.
The blood magic.
Well, you know what? You gotta have some blood magic somewhere.
Oh,
Right.
and even
Oh my
better,
gosh.
the vampire is not just any vampire. That's fucking Count Dracula. The sorcerer screams out, "Count Dracula, come to my aid!" Here comes Dracula. I'm coming.
Was that a Shaw Brothers movie?
No. It was some Taiwanese thing that like was made for about $2.
Right.
Speaking of movies, Free Guy opens this weekend. So if
Free
you're
Guy, that
looking forward to
definitely-
seeing a movie in the theater, you might want to see that. I don't know if you want to, but you know.
Well, I'll eventually get around to it because I'm not a gamer, so I have nothing in that fight.
Right.
I do like Ryan Reynolds, and you know the fact that everything's been pushed back a year just makes it sad to me. Like I've been waiting for this movie for fucking 18 months at this point, and it's kind of like, you know, fucking COVID made everything sad.
And we talked about it before. Whose career would you rather have besides Ryan Reynolds? Come on, guy has a great career going on right now.
Yeah, but whose
Robert
career would
Downey
I rather have?
Robert Downey Jr. Yeah.
Ben Kingsley's career, or fucking, I don't know. That's a good question. there's a lot of guys out there that do some great shit. But Ryan Reynolds, I guess Ryan Reynolds is the guy. He's the hot guy right now, I guess.
Right, he's the it guy in a sense.
He's the it guy, yeah.
Yeah, but is he making $20 million a picture?
What?
But is he making $20 million a picture?
Yeah, he is making a lot of money. But at one point, it stops becoming like it's not about the money anymore. It's about the projects, right? I mean,
Right.
you know,
True.
we could talk about money and project stuff and how stuff. We could always talk about the awesome Michael Caine story about how when he made Jaws 3, so you might not have liked Jaws 3, but you see the house it bought me. And
Right.
I mean, at that point,
Jaws 3. Hey,
I'm sorry. Jaws 3D, right?
Jaws
Boy, was
3D
that pissed.
that was Lou Gossett. Jaws the Revenge was Michael Caine.
Oh, right. Jaws the Revenge. Ugh. Fuck. Yeah. So there's like, whose career would you like to have? I guess you're right. I guess definitely not Val Kilmer's. Holy shit.
So we got 4 minutes. Any parting words in these 4 minutes before we get shut off?
Remember, kids, masturbation is good for you. Just don't do it to the Golden Girls.
That's true. You can't do it. You can't do it to Maude though. Maude's okay, but Golden Girls, right out. Steve, it was great having you.
All I gotta say is that uncompromising, tranquilizing, anything but enterprising, right on, Maude.
Right on, Maude. Maude, what are you doing? This was quite the frickin' show because everything went wrong today.
Right.
We have Steve on.
But it went
Steve's
right
the only
at
thing
the
that went right. Steve's the only thing that went right. Technical issues. That my sound was going out. Oh my god, what a mess. I feel sorry for the guy who's going to edit this. But Steve, thanks for coming on. You wanted to tout something before you got off?
We'll put the info in the comments or whatever. In the notes.
Steve's got a couple projects. He worked for DC for a while, and he did some editing for Vertigo Comics. Some great stuff.
Worked in the comics industry for 13 years, 9 at Marvel, 4 at DC.
Nice. He knows the world of comics, folks. He's an
maybe next
encyclopedia of comic knowledge.
Yes, another encyclopedia of comics. Maybe next time. Maybe he can come on and talk to us about his time at Marvel's Marvelous Bullpen.
I will tell Marvel stories. DC, not so much.
Yeah. Until next time, folks. It's us signing off.
Pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Hey, no song of the week.
No song of the week, Steve. What's your song of the week, Steve? We always pick a song of the week. What's your favorite song or a song you like to go out with? Song of the week.
Let's go with Death Ray by the Misfits.
Oh yes! Good song. Right on. Until next time, folks. Your old friends. Signing off.